Not sure if you saw me doing this before, but I wasn't sure if my computer had actually started recording because there's apparently a delay at times. I actually need to shave again because I'm supposed to only just have like the goatee because I'm doing the whole Tony Stark thing. Anyway, updates on my costume build. Sorry I haven't actually been posting lately. I've kind of been focusing on my costume and all. Anyway, this yeah, this is the costume that I'm doing. I actually already had the Darth Vader mask running around here, and then this is actually a modified Daedric helmet. Daedric is from a video game. It's like a warrior race or something. And I have started on the shin pieces for my costume. This is actually the knee part from it. And I do have to do some repair work on the torso piece, which I figured out how I'm going to do some modifications because this suit has kind of morphed into a Darth Vader theme. So I'm actually going to be removing a lot of the side pieces on the torso thing and having that as just a piece. I will be still keeping the abdomen piece in there because I haven't decided on who things. And so for now, I'm still going to be keeping the abdomen piece in there because what I'm going to be using for the main torso piece actually has an abdomen wrap around anyway, so I'll be having that on there basically just to pretty much hide it. And then I still actually have to choose and build the cod piece. Yeah, as well as the gloves actually. So I'm actually in the final stretch on that. The costume in and of itself is a big deal for me because it's my first full armor build. But also, as I've mentioned in other videos, I actually have a rehabilitation project that I've been working on. I personally am I forgot I had the glue gun on. I am a high-functioning autistic. And, okay, so that, and then the rest of them, and then I'll go from there. Okay. I'm a high-functioning autistic. And you see, what I'm doing is, I'm using costuming as a way to learn marketable job skills. You see, the big problem with high-functioning autism is it's not that we don't have an attention span per se, it's that it's hard to engage a high-functioning autistic at times. And so what I'm doing is I'm finding a way to use what the person is interested in to serve as a vehicle to teach the usable skills. I also realize, and one of the shortcomings of high-functioning autism is that occasionally we forget other people exist. Sort of. Basically, sometimes you forget that, that other people are not going to be interested in the same things as me, and so trying to use what I'm interested in to teach other people things may or may not work. So I'm actually, a secondary project that I'm doing is I'm actually developing homeschool curriculum. My wife and I have decided that we're going to probably homeschool our son, and by using, like the costuming and stuff, I'll be able to teach him advanced concepts, things from chemistry, because like when you're using the fiberglass resin, you have a two-part catalyst, so I'll be able to teach him about catalysts and how things react and so forth, the difference between endothermic versus exothermic reactions, start instilling a sense of basic safety protocols and things like that. Because fiberglass, basically the worst that's going to happen is you get a you get a very painful chemical burn, but it's not like I really have to worry about any real damage and all. So it's kind of one of those things that, that's a nice way to be able to help somebody get a hold of advanced level concepts, like I said. And because I know what I'm doing with like the fiberglass resin and things like that, when he gets old enough to be able to use that, then I can actually have him mix up the resin to be able to paint pieces that'll have them build and all. But what I will be starting with is I actually use this to harden up my pieces now. It's pretty much about as strong as resin, by the way. And I mean, it's much easier and safer to work with too. But basically, like I said, I'll be able to teach him advanced concepts such as endothermic versus exothermic reactions, and actually having something there that demonstrates what it is. Like for example, fiberglass is an exothermic reaction. And then what I'll be able to do is, like, by using 3D modeling and things like that, I'll be able to teach him, like, advanced computer-aided design and things like that. But I'll be able to use it as a way to teach advanced physics, such as shear forces, load-bearing members, different stuff that will help me basically teach the higher level things like that. Until I actually develop the thing, I can't really explain it clearly, but you get the basic gist of that. Now, what I'm doing for my own stuff is I'm using the Iron Man costuming as a basis for several projects that I'm developing. One of my ideas is combat gear and body armor for fire and rescue personnel, police, combat personnel, security people, as well as civilian models and stuff as well. But by building an Iron Man helmet, one of the goals of a good helmet is for, to be able to get the eyes to light up like in the movie. Well, if I were to put in a helmet-mounted display. Now, the Raspberry Pi and Arduino both have very good displays. Raspberry Pi is a little bit better for what I'm doing, but that's neither here nor there at this particular junction. But suffice it to say, if I were to put a helmet-mounted display inside the helmet, I could then fully enclose the eyes, and then that would give me a wide range of ways to light it up. I could use surface-mount LEDs, I could use electroluminescent tape panels, basically pretty much whatever will give me the best bang for the buck in terms of being able to light up the eyes. Well, being able to see through the display, and then having a camera mounted like in the chest plate or something so I can just see what's going on in front of me, by using that same thing, now I can go and I can take the Raspberry Pi and be able to program it in full functionality. Cameras very easily can be adapted for night vision, thermal vision, zoom and everything else. So I can actually try to mimic as many of the functions of the real helmet as possible. By the necessity of having to have a fully functioning computer involved with all of this, that means that I can then take that same full function computer, relocate everything to the arm, for example, and actually come up with a usable, marketable computing device. And all of the things that's necessary for me to learn to accomplish all of these things can therefore be turned around into marketable job skills if I was using this to teach somebody else, for example. I've tried to explain to people just off the cuff about what I'm doing, and when I give the short form, what they call the elevator pitch, it sounds like a wild pipe dream, but then when you actually take a couple minutes to actually see how it is that the various aspects of it, feed into and form the foundations and building blocks for other ones, then you start to see that it actually is a pretty well thought out, concept. Now, like by doing the 3D model work, for example, that teaches me how to design things. I have designed a couple of projects for costuming stuff. For example, there's a game called Assassin's Creed, in which the main character in one of the games, I can't remember which one, I think he has a selection of different weapons, but there's a hidden blade that when he obviously I'm assuming he flexes his hand in a certain way, and the blade will actually shoot out, so that he can basically, thrust, slice, whatever else, and it will actually retract back into the housing. I designed a shell for my own based on some reference pictures that I found out. And so things like that teach me how to design objects in a 3D model program. I specifically use Blender because it's free and it is amazing, by the way. Well, by using reference pictures for things that I want, it motivates me to be able to do it well, so that means that later on, if I'm designing, say, my hybrid vehicles, for example, and I know that, okay, based on the configuration of the frame and where the engine compartment versus the passenger compartment, trunk, etc. is going to be, then I can therefore say, okay, I have this much space to work with, and actually sketch out a schematic. Well, once I get something that I want, I can then take those reference sketches that I made, scan them into the computer, bring them up as the background image on Blender, and then use that to design my pieces. And so, as I said, by using what I'm interested in, it creates a framework upon which I can actually do, the learning. It keeps it from becoming dry and academic and boring, and actually allows me to stay interested, to stay on task and stay focused and everything, to be able to really, get into what I'm doing. Okay, so that there, that there, that there. Okay, I had pieces for this piece laid out in a certain order, and then I'm just trying to remember where some of them are. Okay, so that goes like that. That goes like that. Ah, okay, cool. Other projects that I've got going, for example, like is a home automation system. I like Tony Stark's house, and hey, having a setup like is a friggin' a beautiful idea. Well, it's not hard to use voice interaction programs, scheduling, things like that, and everything to create the type of assistive technology package that I personally need. Most assistive technology packages, for example, are geared around physical things. Wheelchair access, grab bars for showers, and things like that. These are all examples of simple assistive technology. Technology is the application of knowledge for the furtherance or achievement of a goal. Well, for me, my biggest need is like schedule reminders and things to help me stay on task. Well, if I have my schedule programmed into the system that I'm designing, there will be monitors in various places. Like I've seen some really great designs using one-way glass and projectors. I can make touchscreen monitors like in my bathroom, where up on the mirror, like as I come in, it will bring up the thing. It'll bring up the schedule or whatever I need to be reminded of and everything, or just news feed, whatever it is, whatever else you want. We'll bring it up on the mirror. as I go into the bedroom, and they'll be there. Everywhere in the house that I would normally go, there'll be a reminder station set up. Well, in terms of income generating capability for something like this, if I design the system the way that I want to, where I have the bells and whistles that I want, then I can turn around and just sell that configuration on the open market as well. You see, my particular talent is I'm a natural engineer. I can look at something, or even like how a business operates, and I can make it better. I also have the ability to multi-track and think at almost computer speeds, is the way it's actually been described by other people. Where most people would be looking at my ideas and thinking of, okay, wow, yeah, we can do this with it. I'm already 7 different variations and steps ahead. So, basically, everything that I'm doing, as I said, it feeds into and forms the foundation for other things. And rather than, as I used to do when I was a kid, putting all of my expectations on one goal and outcome, I've learned to be able to diversify. So this whole thing is, the rehabilitation plan is not just about me getting off of disability by being able to generate a sufficient income. It is a way to implement and practice the philosophies and things that I've learned over the years that have helped me to improve and become the person that I am now. And by doing so, help me maintain the progress that I've made, which will then help me to grow even further. So, I will be actually getting into, more detailed explanation of things. I hadn't posted in a while, and I really kind of needed to get something out there. Other things that I'm going to be upcoming. I ended up talking to a man who was involved when I was in juvenile treatment, back when I was a kid. And I experienced some, rather unpleasant extended circumstances at the hands of this man. I ended up calling him because I wanted to kind of get some closure, and I wanted to see whether or not he had changed at all, and I found out no, he hasn't. So I will be talking about that and my feelings on it in the form of an open letter to him. Got a flag rant actually upcoming. I just haven't really been in the right mood. I have to kind of be a bit annoyed to be able to get some of the things that I have to say about this whole Eric Shepherd challenge. Which, oh my God, I am so glad he got arrested finally. I mean, I love how, after all of his smarmy, egotistical, oh, I'm gonna fight the system, whatever else, so the very system that gives him the freedom to be able to spew his venomous stupidity. Well, in any event, I'm going to wrap this up because I want to actually focus on what I'm doing here and all. But yeah, I've got some upcoming videos planned. I just haven't really gotten coherent enough notes, because on some of these, they're really important. I want to kind of actually stick on topic. And in regards to my discussing my my plans for my projects and all, somebody said there, aren't you worried about copyright and everything? It's like the things that I could copyright, aren't really anything other than, you know, like my actual physical shell of whatever products I do and everything. Because a lot of what I'm doing is based on things that have already been done, and I'm pretty much going to be using all open source stuff anyway, so realistically anybody could actually not dissect my system and recreate it on their own. What I'd be charging people for is the effort of putting the whole thing together for you. So, but realistically, I mean, like I said, my philosophy is that I know other people have already been doing it, but if I can do it better and cheaper, then people are probably going to buy my stuff. If somebody else out there can do it better and cheaper than me, then hey, all power to them. So, in any event, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm going to focus on this before I go to bed because I want to at least try to get a good chunk of this thing knocked out. Well, in any event, thank you for watching and have a nice day.